Welcome to a special Club World Cup edition of the Rondo, presented by Nivea Men. Guys, what's going on? How we feeling?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
How about you? You look good.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks,
bro,
dude. The
I'm
Knicks
chilling.
glow. We're counting down the days to the beginning of the all-new Club World Cup format, and we're super excited to see what's going to happen, right? It's going to be great. It's in the U.S., right in our backyard, all the biggest names, all the biggest clubs. Watching some classic football giants clash with some of the smaller but powerful teams from around the world is also really exciting, too. You get the big names playing against teams that are in the African Champions League who you otherwise would never hear of or watch on TV. It's going to be a sight that you definitely don't want to miss. So today, guys, we're going to go over some of the teams that you're looking forward to watching. Who are some of the underdog teams that we got to look out for?
Listen, man, everybody got to look out for my boys, Mamelodi Sundowns. You know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of interviewing their goalkeeper, the world-class Ronwin Williams. He's actually one of the greatest goalkeepers coming out in Africa right now. Super excited to see them play against some of the biggest teams in the world, being one of the biggest African teams in the world.
Yeah, that's sick.
Dopest nickname as well. Do you know they're called the Brazilians?
I like that.
That's
You see
fire.
that
That's
kits?
hilarious.
The kits are fire. Yeah.
Because of the kits,
Do
they're called the
they wear like
Brazilians.
Brazil kit dupes?
No,
pretty much?
apparently, because I was like reading up on these lads, because of course Raheem stole my idea.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I gotta rep my boy Ronwin.
No,
Respect, bro.
fair play. But apparently, because they wore those kits when they first were founded in South Africa, people nicknamed them the Brazilians.
That's insane.
And then
Yeah,
they had
that's
a bunch of skillers and lads who would kind of
do their thing. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. Like when I was growing up, I used to hear about South African teams all the time, like Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
I remember
FIFA Rest of World Legend Club right there.
I remember hearing Orlando Pirates, and I first moved to
yeah,
Florida,
dude,
and I'm like,
yep.
shit, I'm about to go to an Orlando Pirates game, and they're in South Africa.
I'm going RB Salzburg. I'm keeping it European. So they've always been kind of interested in a real talent factory. Erling Haaland, Sadio Mane, Dominic Szoboszlai.
Dude, they've got a lot of people.
Brendan Aronson.
Brendan
Yeah,
Aronson.
right.
Guys, Dominic Szoboszlai, Premier League winner. No, I'm excited about them, and they've always got some young kids and interesting prospects that they're eventually going to sell on to
Bigger
everyone
clubs.
and anyone.
The Red Bull formula.
The Red Bull formula. But I mean, Oscar Gluck right now is kind of cooking. He's in the Israeli national team, I believe, and he was amazing at the U19 Euros.
And I think
And-
also the U20 World Cup
Yeah,
as well.
he's been around, bagging in big games.
He's kind of one of those guys to look out for. Someone called him the Israeli Messi, which is strange because that's apparently what we do. We just take a country and then put
call it
Messi at the end, which is uncomfortable on so many levels. But he's exciting. RB Salzburg had a good end to the season after a really bad start.
I like how
we'll see how it goes.
I like how Christian Pulisic has never been called the American Messi. They just switched sports and called him the LeBron James.
Right.
They were just like
Typical of Americans for us to not keep it the same as anybody else.
Rapid fire. Who's gonna win the tournament?
Inter.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's not rapid fire.
That's not rapid fire. All right. Let me be. I think PSG.
All right.
I think
Yeah,
PSG.
dude, they're having all the success in Europe right now. It makes sense that they carry it over.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with PSG as well, what benefits them is bro, they got a young squad. They're energetic. I don't think they had any big injuries this year to any players. That was a big thing
Yeah,
for a
you
lot
gotta
of
stay
clubs.
healthy, man.
They stayed healthy. Ousmane Dembele was healthy this year,
That's
bro.
crazy. That
For the
doesn't
first time
happen.
his career, he's taking his body serious, and look what happens.
I feel like one of the most exciting parts of the tournament of the Club World Cup is how it brings in top-level talent from all over the world, including teams that you would not typically see play each other. It's refreshing to be able to see Man City or PSG take on the likes of Al Ain FC or Urawa Reds. Tom, you specifically, I know you've been keeping up with RB Salzburg. What's something about them that you want everybody to know as they take the Club World Cup stage?
Young and exciting. That's their whole shtick. It's get a bunch of 19 to 23-year-olds together and just make them play. So a big guy who's been really interesting to me, Liverpool fan bias, Bobby Clark came out of the Liverpool Academy. He was really good for Liverpool last year when they beat Chelsea in the League Cup final. Oscar Gluck's kind of the guy, and everyone sort of had him tabbed as a Ballon d'Or contender in the future. I mean, 10 goals, 4 assists in his second full season in the Austrian top flight is really good, and I think he'll probably be playing for, Bayern Munich, probably a top team. in a few
Big
years.
team, man. Think
Big
about it.
team.
As long as
Big team.
if you below 20 and you scoring goals, bro, you could go for bread. Just ask Rasmus Højlund, bro. You gonna get a move. I don't know how it's gonna work, but you gonna get that move, though. You gonna get your chance, though.
It's gonna happen.
Mamelodi Sundowns, man. I'm looking forward to them coming to the Club World Cup, coming to America, especially them competing against these bigger sides like Real Madrid, PSG. These players are gonna want to come here and prove themselves against the best in the world. And I think that's the greatest part about this Club World Cup is that we're finally gonna be able to see these teams that we never get to see on television, right?
Yeah.
You only see him on TikTok clips when CR7 scoring his,
Yeah.
you know, his 30th goal in the Saudi league. But now we get to actually see what Al Hilal's like.
I feel like another great aspect about the Club World Cup format is that you have ageless ballers from all over the world and all over these various different leagues and clubs. We got Mbappe and Vinny who are in their primes, youthful players like Esteval Palmeiras who are getting started, and then like the OGs, the world legends like Messi and Suarez, showing the world that they still got it playing against this variety of competition. So I'm curious, what are some of your guys' players that we need to watch out for in the Club World Cup?
I got mine. I got Franco Mastantuono from River Plate,
You
17
nerd.
years old.
You nerd.
17 years old, scored an amazing free kick against Boca Juniors a couple weeks back in their rivalry match.
That takes guts to do that at 17.
At
in that
17
game.
years
In
old.
that game specifically.
He's been linked to some of the biggest clubs in the world already, 17 years old, and I think River Plate is going to be running a lot of their game through him. We've seen a lot of Argentinian young talent come out of River Plate. For example, Julian Alvarez, who's now starring Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And I think Franco could be next up.
Yeah.
And I'll be really boring. Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
So here's the thing, right? The Englishman in me is just like, you know, it's like painful when it comes to Harry Kane and knockout football. But part of me thinks, you know what, he got his first trophy with Bayern. Maybe the voodoo is done.
The curse might have been lifted.
If the curse has been lifted, that's going to be great for
Bayern
in
Champions-
2026.
Yeah,
by the
Bayern
way.
Champions League next
Please,
year.
Harry, do not miss a penalty. But nah, it'll be cool to see how he plays. And like, let's be honest, lads, like there's a good chance that he could be finishing his career in 3 to 4 years, maybe in MLS anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in America.
We got the big name players. We know that people are excited to see them, but I'm curious, like, who are the next generation of players right now that are gonna make fans when people see how good they are?
I think Esteval, bro. I think Esteval could be crazy in this Club World Cup because he's playing at Palmeiras. He won't be at Chelsea yet. He is going to Chelsea, but I think his potential, he could be a star. We already know Chelsea's going to be competing in the Champions League this year. They're an upcoming side. They're still trying to figure it out, in my opinion, even though they finished fourth. But I think Esteval, honestly, could come out this looking like a star, bro.
Arda Güler for me at Real Madrid. He's been unbelievable. I mean, we know that Luka Modric is retiring at the end of the... not necessarily retiring.
He left the club.
He's leaving Madrid, yeah.
Yeah, he's leaving Madrid, and they kind of need that new sort of tempo-setting playmaker to sort of keep the ball, do cool stuff. He's not gonna... Speaking of, they call him the Turkish Messi.
Of course they do.
Of course they did, yeah.
Of
The
course they
LeBron
did.
James of Turkish
Nationality,
soccer.
Messi. Talented player, nationality, Messi.
No, but he's a really interesting talent. And Xabi Alonso, I think, in his intro press conference, said that he's going to be a big part of his project.
You guys are sleeping on my boy Jorge de Arrascaeta from Flamengo.
me?
Yeah. You don't mind if
Arrascaeta, I heard of him.
Arrascaeta, yeah, he's dude.
Shut the f-
No, I heard. No, seriously.
No,
I
he's
have.
crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, he's played 8 games so far in the season, and he has 8 goals.
Is he your Uruguayan?
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of
He's
him.
played-
Yeah, he's talented.
He's played 8 games. He has 8 goals and 3 assists, which is cracked. Flamengo's second in the league right now, behind Palmeiras, ironically. And he's sick. He's shown up in the big competitions before. He scored both goals in Uruguay's win over Ghana in the 2022 World Cup. That's clutch. When they needed it too. They
Yeah.
ended up going through because South Korea beat Portugal, but
That
he
was
showed up when he
crazy,
needed
that
to.
was.
Yeah, they did everything they needed
No,
to.
I love when the Brazilian teams play in Club World Cup because I think out of all like the international teams that we talk about, like the Brazilian teams are the most likely to like be in like the final.
Yeah,
like, I
definitely.
remember Fluminense played against Manchester City a couple years ago in the Club World Cup final. They got smacked, but they were playing their style
were
of
good.
play.
Yeah, they played out
They
the
had
back
that
against
sequence
it,
of
yeah.
play. You remember with Marcelo playing it
Yeah,
out the back
yeah,
around
yeah.
Man
Oh,
City?
yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is real
yeah,
football.
yeah,
It was 5-1, but like, you know what I'm saying? They were still doing their thing. And I like that about the Brazilian teams.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to come out and do their thing on the pitch.
Look, we know these players are going to deliver results in the clutch. When it comes to clutch defense on your face, that's where Nivea Men Age Defense comes in. Age Defense is by the pros for the pros. With an advanced serum enriched with thiamidol that helps fight the look of dark spots and wrinkles, you too will be an ageless wonder. Now let's break down how defense is key to victory on the pitch as demonstrated by these legends. Guys, who's a player over 35 who is critical to their team's success in the Club World Cup this season?
There's a guy called Lionel Messi that you might have heard of. So he's kind of good at football.
Bro, he's a little underground, man.
He's a little
He's a little
underground.
underground.
My player over 35 doing their thing in the Club World Cup is going to be my man Acerbi from Inter Milan. One of the best center backs in the world right now.
shout.
He actually recovered from cancer early on in his career. I think 2013 he got diagnosed with cancer when he was at Lazio. Had a couple moves in between, played at Sassuolo, played at AC Milan, and now is in the prime of his career at like 36. playing for Inter Milan,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude,
Doing his thing. Champions League final, about to go to the Club World Cup, recovering from cancer. He's a survivor, man.
You
for
need-
real.
Bro,
you
what
need-
was that goal against? He scored against Barcelona, didn't he?
He scored
in extra time.
In extra time.
Oh,
It's like
he was a clutch.
cross
Yes,
comes
yeah,
across,
yep,
and it's like this 6-year-old
Yeah.
centre back
Thundered that in.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Banger.
What about you, Mr. Ball Noah Corbin?
Okay, all right. He's an honorable mention because he's not technically over 35, but he's 1 year close.
Doesn't count.
Antoine Griezmann, man.
Wow.
I'd be remiss if I did not
Okay.
give him a
Okay.
shout out.
Is this
as
Antoine
we talk about
Griezmann's
it.
last tournament with Atletico Madrid? Like,
So
what's
they say.
He's getting up there. Look, he's an Atletico Madrid club legend. I think he is severely underrated over the course of his career. You could probably make an argument that for the 2022 World Cup and a couple years prior to that, he was like top 5 player in the world.
I would still put him top 10.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
on this show, I said that he was better than Robert Lewandowski, and people like on Instagram were giving me pelts.
They were mad at you, yeah.
They were fuming. I had to like turn notifications off.
That's crazy, but honestly, that's not really a crazy thing to say. And Atletico Madrid has always been the home for, you know, those strikers who are struggling at other clubs. They come to Atletico
And they
Madrid
just
and
find
find
their
their
home,
home.
man.
Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, Griezmann struggled at Barca, came back a legend. Luis Suarez left Barca, went to Atletico Madrid, won a championship. Sorloth got bounced by Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Now he has 20 goals and 2 assists for Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid this season.
I remember when we all thought Fernando Torres was washed and he had his last like 18 months
His
at
last
Atleti,
hurrah.
didn't he? And I
Yeah.
was like, I mean, the Liverpool fan of me was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like,
For sure.
And it was his boyhood club as well, wasn't it? So no, I think Atleti know how to do their thing with those
Yeah.
ones.
Thank you so much for watching, with a special thanks to Nivea Men Age Defense. When you need a clutch defense in your skincare routine to reduce dark spots and wrinkles, get their advanced serum on your roster and keep up the assist with their full line. Get your game face on.